My fiancé picked me up from the club after I was assaulted, and instead of comforting me, he accused me of cheating because another man touched me without consent, then said I deserved it for dressing provocatively and going out. Posted by you/OK Day 4024. I, 24F, and my fiancé, 27M, had been engaged for around a year, and I have been doing a ton of wedding planning, and so has he. I started losing a lot of hair from the stress, and he knows this, so he suggested that I could relax and he'd handle everything. My friends invited me to the club when they heard I was free for once, and I agreed. I did not tell my fiancé initially where I was going, but I assumed he'd guess where I was going because where else could you be going in revealing clothing at night? I know this might be perceived as disrespectful, but he has always been okay whenever I dressed like this, and I usually dress modestly anyway. He asked me where I was going. I told him I was going to the club with my friends, and he just said okay. My friends picked me up. We headed to the club, and that entire time, I did have a couple drinks, and I try to keep myself in check because I am an engaged woman, but my friends had me drink more than I intended. A man approached me whilst I was by myself in a booth, and he was trying to pursue me. I told him that I was engaged and to please leave me alone. He grabbed my hand to see my ring before he proceeded to reach his hand up my dress and force my hands on him. I immediately pushed the lunatic and called my husband to pick me up since my friends were nowhere to be seen. He came to pick me up, and I was frantically explaining to him what happened only for him to pull over and yell in an accusing tone what? At me. Obviously, I didn't think he was mad at me because I'd think my fiancé would be the last person to be mad at me for something that wasn't my fault. I repeated myself, and he started driving again and kept responding to everything I said with, "But why did you let him touch you?" I was in disbelief and told him I didn't let him touch me, and I told him to leave me alone. He tells me that I shouldn't have gone to the club wearing what I wore, started talking badly about all of my friends who went with me, and questioned why I didn't do more to protect myself. I cussed him out because what the heck? Then he tells me that he is the one who got cheated on and that I have no right to be angry with him because he was only concerned for my lack of self-awareness, then started to make his last point about how going to the club was already kind of cheating, and I should have consulted with him first. I'm seriously considering calling off the engagement, but we have been together for 4 years, and he has never done anything to hurt me. We rarely fight, and he's almost always very gentle with me. This is the first time he has reacted this way toward me. I definitely saw him being aggressive with other people that weren't me a few times. I don't know if I should wait and talk to him in the morning because, giving him the benefit of the doubt, maybe he's just as tired as I was from the wedding planning and isn't thinking rationally. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, do you guys talk about politics at all? Feminism? Did you read him as the type of guy to have this reaction/belief system? If this is out of the ordinary, maybe he misunderstood what happened. Other than that, girl, if this is how he thinks, you don't want to be with a man like that. Imagine the kinds of ways he would parent your daughter. As always though, things are always more complicated in real life. If you really love him, maybe try couples therapy? Ops response, I don't recall ever having any definitive conversations about politics. All I know is that the majority of his family are conservative, but he doesn't have a strong political stance, at least not that I know of, but he knows where I stand politically. I am absolutely not a conservative, might I add, and has never objected to it. He has always been very respectful towards me and doesn't really engage with other women at all if that says anything. And yes, maybe he misheard me, but I did repeat multiple times verbatim that the man had assaulted me, and he wasn't listening. I'll consider couples therapy. Not sure how it'll work in this situation since this is the only troubling issue we have ever had. Commenter 2, call off the engagement. This behavior only ever escalates, and you're very, very lucky to have seen it now before you are legally tied to him. He has just shown you that he doesn't give a single care when someone has actively harmed you. You called him for help, and he turned on you. What if you are assaulted again? We all hope it won't happen, but we know the statistics. What if you have a daughter and she is assaulted? What if you have a son? What will he be taught is acceptable? This man is not a safe person to be married to. He will probably apologize and be all lovey-dovey after this, but you've seen underneath the mask now. Those attitudes are dark, and they run deep. Commenter 3, oh dear. Apparently we need to do it again here. You are free. You aren't a property, engaged or not. You can dress however you want and go where you want. You don't have to ask any kind of approval from nobody unless you are still a child. You don't get assaulted. A man assaulted you. Your clothes didn't get you assaulted. A violent and horrible man assaulted you. Whatever stupid people with stupid insecurity and views can answer here because you are a bad partner, you are clubbing, yes, that is called liberty, and if other people don't know how to go clubbing without cheating on their partner, that is not your fault and doesn't define what you can do or not. To be certain that we are all clear on that, to all of whom think this way, get lost. Next, to your future ex, I hope there is no fatigue nor misunderstanding here. It's a way of thinking. Either he is a jerk, and he is, believe me, because of how he reacted, or he is a normal, caring man, and of course he won't be mad at you but at the other jerk who assaulted you and at your friends who left you there alone. But in no way, shape, or form could a good, intelligent man be mad at you for what happened. Please call off the engagement. Respect yourself because right now, you are the only one apparently who can do that. Your partner, friends, and this assaulting man, none of them did. Please respect yourself by calling off this engagement and find a decent man. Of course, not overreacting. Update 1 day later. My fiancé, M27, left home early this morning. I, F24, asked where he went, and he still has the same reaction to my assault he did the night it happened. I'm very confused on what to do and if I am doing right by considering calling off the engagement. Some people are saying I'm overreacting, and others are telling me I'm not. Last photo is literally the dress I wore to the club since people have questioned what I was wearing, which I don't understand how that's at all pertinent to understanding that I was assaulted. I stand by the fact that I did not cheat on him, nor was I being secretive about where I was going. I didn't mention it when I should have, but when he asked, I told him. Simple as that. You can't just be okay with me going to the club and then come pick me up, find out a man touched me without consent, and say that going to the club is in fact cheating. We are also very honest people, so if he did have an issue with it when I told him I was going to the club, he would have said so, and there was nothing to suggest that he didn't want me going. The texts. Fiancé, about switching to garden roses. OP, I need help. Fiancé, taking a break as you did. OP, okay, and that's fine, but it feels like you are doing this out of pettiness. Fiancé, whether I am or not, can you blame me haha, smiley face emoji. Fiancé, my soon-to-be wife got messed up at the club and allows another man to touch her. Being cheated on before my wedding does not feel great. OP, I did not cheat on you. I should be able to dress how I want, and you have always been fine with it. I didn't tell you initially where I was going, but I did tell you before I left. You had every second to tell me that you didn't want me to go, and I would have stayed. OP, and you know that. Fiancé, I let you go because I didn't think you would go and practically be intimate with another man. Fiancé, another man touched you, and that is cheating. OP, okay, so is it the fact that I went to the club or the fact that I let another man touch me? OP, tell me now because this is contradicting whatever you said to me the other night. OP, I can't believe you're still hung up on the idea that I cheated on you. Why is the fact that I cheated on you more important than my well-being? How can you, the man I love and trust with my deepest vulnerabilities, fixate on your wounded pride instead of wrapping your arms around the fact that I was violated? Please wake up. I'm furious but mostly heartbroken that you don't care to consider what happened to me. Fiancé, the whole point of you going to the club was to relax. I let you relax because I care about your well-being. There is no room to care now when you took my consideration and went and cheated on me. Fiancé, I apologize that it happened to you the way it did, but you go to the club dressed provocatively and don't expect a man to try to be intimate with you? Nonsense. Fiancé, if you had an ounce of respect for me, then you would apologize, and we can go from there. OP, I didn't dress a certain way to be assaulted. That sounds absurd and is extremely disgusting of you to say, dude. I dressed how I did because you nor I have ever had an issue with it, and I did it for myself, not for anyone else. I'm sorry, but I have been feeling very ugly these past few months given that I am watching my figure for our wedding and losing a ton of hair on top of that, so yes, I did go to the club dressed like how most girls would going to a club because it made me feel pretty. Fiancé, all the excuses in the world but an apology. OP, where is your apology? Fiancé, I did apologize. I'm sorry a man like that approached you, but it's not right to blame everyone but yourself. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, you are going to have children with a man who talks like this to you? You might have a daughter with a man who doesn't respect women? If you don't love yourself enough to leave him, please at least don't bring children into this. What will he say to your daughter to shame her? This is not a man. A man should be comforting you, but of course you know that. You put up with this disrespect before your marriage. It will only get worse after marriage. Sincerely, a Gen X woman who knows how stuff turns out. Commenter 2, up, you will have a small, controlled life if you marry this man. And over time it will grow smaller and smaller, and you will forget what independence, support, and confidence feel like. You will feel trapped, and it will be harder to leave. End it now. This is not a person you want to spend your precious life with. You want someone who will help you grow and embrace experiences, not keep you isolated and insecure. Commenter 3, every single day I read posts on this sub written by women who are dating villains. Reading this and comprehending that you are in a relationship with this man and still arguing about your assault is insane. If your friend was assaulted and her boyfriend said this stuff to her, would you be supportive of their relationship? Would you believe she is safe? Clearly this guy's view of assault is warped. Who's to say he won't assault you while you're sleeping, saying you can't assault your partner? Op and women in general need to wake up and dump these people. You deserve better. You deserve respect. This man does not respect you or empathize with you. If you had a daughter with him and she was assaulted, he would blame her. Also, you'd stay home if he didn't want you to go to the club to have fun? Please. He is controlling whether you want to admit it or not. It's actually insane to me how this is even a question. You are young. Dump him. Staying in relationships with men like this lets them know it's okay, and that's how we get young men who are raised the same way. Young men and boys who think it's okay to assault girls in their classes or men who assault women in the club. Please do better for yourself. Update 2, same day, 3 hours later. Hi everyone, thank you so much for the advice, and I think I will be following through with calling off the engagement, but before I do, I need advice on where to even begin. We've sunk about $12,000 so far into planning out of an original $35,000 budget with a rough split of 60% from us and 40% from our families, mostly non-refundable deposits that are killing me right now. Breakdown of what we've paid. Venue, $4,500 deposit, 30% of $15,000 total, non-refundable after 6 months. Wedding dress, custom alterations already done, $2,800 total, with $1,200 paid upfront. Photographer, $2,000 retainer, 50% of $4,000 package, non-refundable. Florist and invitations, $1,200 combined, mostly sunk, as invites went out 3 months ago. Catering, tasting and planner consults, $1,500 in fees/deposits. The wedding was for 120 guests, so we've also got non-refundable travel booked for 20 out-of-town family members, flights/hotels totaling $3K, but that's on hold. Should I immediately contact each vendor to negotiate partial refunds or offer to transfer deposits to another couple? For resellable stuff like the dress or decor, we have $800 in custom signage. What's the best platform? FB Marketplace, Still White, or eBay? And how do I price it without undervaluing? Do I need a lawyer to review contracts for shared expenses with my ex? We're not married but some was joint, or is small claims court worth it for anything under $5,000? Also, any tips for breaking this to our families without a blowup? My parents are out $2,000 already, super invested emotionally. I am very lost, so any stories or advice from anyone who've been through this would mean the world. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, I'm proud of you. Please move forward with breaking off this engagement. Even if you don't get 1 cent back that's been spent, it is worth it. And please remember that the wedding is off because of him, not because of you. This is his fault. Definitely call each vendor and try to negotiate refunds. I don't know if it will work, but if you're comfortable explaining what happened, they may have some sympathy and be flexible on their policies. I would write to both families and tell them what happened. That way you can say everything you want to say without getting cut off or pulled into an emotional exchange. Make sure you are explicit in saying this is not up for debate. Your ex-fiancé's response to your assault is not something you can get over or work through. The decision is final. You'll do everything you can to get their money refunded. You are so grateful for the love and the support they were giving for your wedding, and you know they will understand that you have no choice but to cancel the wedding now. It's not a matter of disrespecting them or not trying hard enough to mend fences with your ex. This is a deal breaker. I hope most of them will understand. In this day and age, it should be obvious to them. Unfortunately, you may get pushback from some. Do not let this make you falter. This will be a painful time, and unfortunately there's no way around that, but I promise you that with time you will get through and past it. Commenter 2, you're doing the right thing. Also, I'm an event producer. Here's my recommendations. Immediately contact all vendors and explain the situation with facts, not emotionally charged accusations, etc. You want to appeal to their empathic side, not try to get someone to choose sides. Not that you will, but this advice is from experience. You're trying to get out of a contract, so this may not get you far, but come across gutted/sad, not angry. Simply state, unfortunately, I've made the decision to end our relationship. Without going into details, I was assaulted this week, and my fiancé blamed me, so I've decided to call off the wedding. Can you help me cancel XYZ and discuss financial implications? For the venue, review your contract. You may be able to get your deposit back if the date ends up getting booked once your date opens back up. They may have a wait list. You can even offer your date up on socials and offer to cover $1,500, 10% of their overall fee. This way, you'll still get $3,000 back, the new client gets a discount, and the venue is still whole. If the venue tries to keep the deposit no matter what, keep an eye on the venue on your date. You have a claim in small claims court if you can prove they rebooked your date as long as they didn't rebook at a loss. It's a double dip thing. They were made whole. Photographer, florist, catering, planner, use the same concept as above. Florist and caterer haven't ordered product yet. You should be able to make an appeal with what happened and hopefully a full refund. Photographer could be harder since they tend to be smaller 1 to 2 person businesses, so try to help them rebook, offer to help at the very least. Dress, you will be eating the majority of the costs here because you've had it altered already, unless it was very minor alterations. The great thing is it hasn't been worn yet, and you're selling while it's still on trend, 2025 versus 2019, etc. Get it on the market now. Also, talk to the places you bought it. They'd be a great resource on the best way to sell it. They won't be upset to help you. It's altered. Invites, grab your besties and have a burn party. Legalities, you're not married, so no contract. Keep lawyers out unless absolutely necessary. It sounds like deposits have already been paid, so after speaking with all vendors you have deposits with, get a total, then make decisions. It's highly unlikely that family is going to ask for money back, but offer, making any refunds extremely equitable. Pay back family first, then yourselves. If his family gave $1,200, 10% of $12K, and your family $2,400, 20% of $12K, but you only received $1,200 in refunds, then give his fam $400 and yours $800. Let them turn the money down, but make the offer. This is you being the bigger person and will cause less hassle and a clean break in the long run. If he's a jerk, then track everything and go after him for what he owes in small claims. You may not get the result you'd like, but bring your receipts, sign contracts and money out, and see what happens. I wish you all the luck in the future. This is terrible now, but you're making the right call. Learn from this. Figure out why you chose this guy and don't do it again. You deserve better. Final update, 4 days later. Starting off by saying that I am so incredibly grateful for the overwhelming support and advice. Reading through nearly 4,000 comments wasn't easy, but I did my best, especially with the long ones. This is my final update as I don't want to prolong this discussion on Reddit. I informed my ex-fiancé of my decision to end our engagement. He was angry but didn't try to harm me, so I'm safe for those who were concerned. About 3 or 4 days ago, I told him I was questioning our engagement. His initial response was, "Are you joking?" And he ridiculed me until I confirmed I was calling it off yesterday. He brought up the money spent on the wedding and questioned how we were going to handle those who contributed and what we were going to tell them. I assured him I'd take care of it. He then ranted about throwing away 4 years, saying he didn't care who was the victim anymore and that he'd never make such a decision because he loved me. Ending with "This is crazy." I'll address some questions I was receiving, and yes, even those asked with less than kind intentions, and provide more context. The assault occurred 2 weeks ago on a Saturday. The first person I told was my sister the day after because I couldn't face my fiancé, nor could I bear it alone. I did not personally tell the rest of my family, but my sister passed it on to them for me. My mom called to discuss it and was supportive, though I do feel like there's still some disappointment from her and others. People were also accusing me of infidelity and saying I wasn't telling the full story because I didn't detail the assault and questioned whether I reported it or not. My focus was on my engagement, not the incident itself. No, I didn't report the assault. I was frantic and just wanted to get home. I repeatedly told the man to leave me alone before he touched me, but it happened very quickly. I froze, then pushed him off once I processed what was happening and left immediately. I didn't think to report it in the moment because I could not stand another second more in there. I will try to return to the club to request footage when I'm in a better headspace because I don't want this happening to other women, and I'm baffled people think that's what I want. Absolutely not. Here's the missing context I was hounded for. I didn't plan on going to the club. My friends, who are single women, suggested it after my ex-fiancé told me I could go out and relax, saying he'd handle all the wedding planning for the day. I was alone at the booth because they wanted to dance whilst I didn't. I haven't contacted vendors yet but am surprised and grateful for the logistical advice and support offered. If you replied under that comment, I likely saw it, and you didn't go unnoticed. Finally, this decision wasn't based solely on Reddit. I was thinking it before I came and told my story here, and Reddit only validated that I wasn't overreacting and encouraged me. I'm aware strangers don't fully grasp my situation to make such a huge decision for me. I know that. To those in my DMs calling me stupid or worse, who also seem to be mostly men, your disgusting misogynistic words won't change my mind. This is my decision. Thank you. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, so was it just touching and nothing else? Or was it more physical and you didn't go into much detail? Neither situation is right and is not cheating, and you are right to call it off. Like you don't even have to be dressed a certain way to be assaulted. He is out of touch with reality, and you deserve better. I would 100% go and press charges. Ops response, for your curiosity, I have said multiple times how exactly I was assaulted, And I guess that's up to you to interpret it the way you want, but personally, I was confused and terrified. It was not just touching to me. I was violated. I was also coherent and wasn't intoxicated to the point where I could make up my own version of events and dismiss whatever cheating anyone thinks I did. Commenter 2, can you have someone close to you call the club about saving footage? A lot of businesses delete footage fairly often. You shouldn't have to deal with it yet if you don't want to, but hoping someone can ask them to hold on to it. I'm glad you left. Wish you all the best. Ops response, this was not something I thought of, so I will try finding out if someone can do this for me. Thank you. Op responds to a commenter on clarifying who she told immediately after the incident took place at the club. Op's response, the first person in my family I told after I told my ex was my sister is what I meant. Obviously I told him first because my last 2 posts have already said that, and he is the one who picked me up. I no longer wanted to face my ex because he wasn't listening to what I was saying and repeatedly calling me a cheater. Is that clarification enough? Commenter 3, I'm very relieved to hear you are well, both physically and mentally. There are certain posts that haunt me, and yours was one of them. I hope that you request the footage rather quickly from the club, as older systems record over older footage. You have made a sound decision and sound strong in your process. Don't forget some individual therapy for the trauma, but also for the end of the engagement. Learning a bit more about your former relationship may divulge clues for you to avoid going forward into new relationships. Best of luck to you, Up. Wish you happiness. Commenter 4, I'm proud of you. This had to be very difficult. My marriage ended in large part because of my husband's reaction to an assault. It feels like such a massive betrayal. The person you love and want to feel safe with no longer feels safe in the very circumstance that you need them to make you feel safe. I would really strongly and gently suggest that you seek out a therapist. This is heavy stuff, and it has heavy implications in future relationships if you don't deal with it. I'm wishing you all the best. Take good care of yourself.